So I did mention during last week's talk, we spoke a little about conducive times for practicing meditation. So I thought I'd talk a little bit about the three gunas and how that impacts our lives so greatly. Has anybody heard of the three gunas, material modes of nature? Yeah? Quite a few people. Some people have never heard of it. Yeah? So everything in this universe is influenced by three different modes, known as the modes of material nature. And these modes are the mode of goodness, which is sattva guna, the mode of passion, or raja guna, and the mode of ignorance, which is tamas guna. So these three modes influence everything to varying degrees. So I'll just explain people for a start, because you can probably find out which one you're in, which mode you're more influenced by. So someone who's more in the mode of ignorance, and we can change throughout our life, because just depending on our lifestyle and what type of lifestyle we're cultivating. So I'll go for the mode of ignorance first, because I can relate to that when I was in that at one stage in my life. Mode of ignorance are people who take a lot of intoxicants, and they sleep a lot, and they tend to be a bit lazy and crazy. All that sort of stuff are people more influenced by the mode of ignorance, tamas guna. Yeah, they like I didn't like rotting food, but some people actually like the flavour of it. There's some foods, you go to those delis and it's like, what is that stench? And there's people there queuing up to buy it, so not everybody has the same tastes in life, but you're somebody who likes, stale food and stinky food, and anchovies have got that really stinky smell and things like that. Those black sausages, they're just blood. They fill the sausage up with blood. That's what they are. Anyway, these are more mode of ignorance foods, the foods that smell and are stale. And I know a friend of mine, she lived in the Asian countries. I'm not sure which one where it was exactly, but she said that they had these eggs there that they would bury for anywhere from 5 to 25 years. And like 5 years was pretty good, but 25 years was like a delicacy. And she said when they had them at the markets, people would flock to the markets to buy these rotting eggs. But she said they were just like, she'd go, oh no, they've got those eggs again. She knew that they were there because she could smell it. But yet some people, that was like really attractive smell. So, these people in the mode of more influenced by the mode of ignorance, they have more of a covering around their hearts and minds. So we don't get a lot of them coming to, yoga and meditation classes. They're just not really inquiring much about life. They're very sort of covered, and they're just living in their own little world, yeah? When you drink a lot and take drugs and things like that, you tend to be more in your own world. And then you've got the people more influenced by the mode of passion, and that's probably nearly everybody in the world today. Most people, a majority of people are very much influenced by the mode of passion, or raja guna. And these people, they really want to enjoy to the fullest. So they're trying to sort of squeeze as much enjoyment out of life as possible. They're always on the go. They like partying, going out for dinner. They're sort of like living in the cities, those sort of people, us, tend to be more influenced by the mode of passion. And then there's the passion foods as well, like chilies are very much in the mode of passion. So people who eat a lot of chilies are very passionate sort of people. It brings out that mode of passion. And then there's the mode of goodness. And these are people who, they like to, they're more chilled people, yeah. They like to sit and watch a sunset, and they like carrot juice and sprouts, and they like vegetarian foods. Vegan foods are in the mode of more in the mode of goodness. Yeah? Because meat is very passion or ignorance, depending on the type of meats. They like to, they're more relaxed people. And I've noticed in West End, I've lived here for a long time now, and it's very much in the centre of the city, yeah? So you get a lot of city dwellers who are very mode of passion here. But then you've got the people who are, there's a lot of mode of goodness people that live in West End as well, and they grow their little organic gardens in the back. They've got this like little permaculture garden in their backyard, and they're living it, more peaceful, trying to make their little peaceful garden in their yard, so they've got a little peaceful place to be. Each one is getting a little less covered. So the mode of passion is a little less covered by this material contamination than someone in the mode of ignorance. And someone in the mode of goodness there's less contamination around their hearts and minds than the passion and the ignorance. So the good thing about cultivating a life of more of the mode of goodness is that you are more likely to be able to get insights into spiritual life. Someone who's more covered by the mode of ignorance, their mind is very dull. You don't sort of think too much. Your mind's it's very dull, And then someone in the mode of passion. Anyone got a monkey mind? It's called a monkey mind, it's just constantly jumping. The monkey's jumping from tree to tree, to branch, constantly. So you're trying to listen to spiritual knowledge and your mind's going, I wonder what's for dinner. Oh gee, I think I need a drink. I need a water. Oh gee, I like a dress. And you're trying to pull your mind into this, spiritual wisdom, but your mind's sort of jumping off again. So it's harder for somebody in the mode of passion and ignorance to pick up a book like the Bhagavad-gita, a spiritual text, and understand it. Their mind's just too crazy and wild to actually understand. Someone who's more influenced by the mode of goodness, their mind is calmer. They don't have this monkey mind so much. It's a more calm, less agitated mind. So you can pick up, if you're more influenced by the mode of goodness, you can pick up a book like the Bhagavad-gita and have some insight, a little bit of more understanding of this spiritual wisdom. So it's really good in our lives not to cultivate the mode of ignorance or passion. So it depends how we choose to live our lives. Of course, one way of moving out of that mode of ignorance is to give up drugs and alcohol. So less and less of that. That is not going to be conducive to spiritual life because it's just going to cloud the mind. And also not cultivating the mode of passion because it's going to cultivate a more agitated mind. It's not actually a very pleasant situation to be in when you're very influenced by the mode of passion because your mind is constantly harassing you. So we don't eat so many chilies. That's just one way. There's many different ways. But we can more cultivate a more mode of goodness lifestyle. So your vegetarian foods are going to help you to become more mode of goodness. Taking up a yoga asana practice, that's really good for helping you move into the mode of goodness. And of course, a vegetarian diet, as I said, is conducive to cultivating that mode of goodness. And there's so many vegan options around these days and vegetarian. When I started, I was 12 when I became a vegetarian, and it was hard. Like, I was the only kid in the school, in the whole high school, who was a vegetarian. They're going like, what do you eat? Like, people don't say it so much now because there's so much to choose from, and I can see the change over the years. It's really easy to become a vegetarian these days, really easy. There's so many options to choose from, and it's really amazing the change I've seen in my lifetime. And when I was a kid, they used to just take the meat off the plate and leave you with what's left, with the vegetarian dinner. But now, I think nearly every cafe has a vegan menu, you can have a whole menu to yourself to choose from. So these little things can make a huge difference in our lives. Taking it as a pranayama, breathing exercises help to cultivate a more mode of goodness, and especially meditation. Meditation is so powerful that it will take you from the mode of ignorance through to the mode of passion and to the mode of goodness in no time. I've seen it happen. I've seen people who are druggies on the street become saints, in a very short period of time, just through applying this meditation process in their life. It's the most powerful way. But we can, along the way, as we're practicing our meditation, we can be choosing to live a more mode of sattvic lifestyle. And this all helps. So, the pranayama, the breathing exercises that we do in our yogasana practice, it helps to increase that mode of goodness. And the mode of goodness is the takeoff point to spiritual life. And then, of course, you can transcend the 3 gunas, and you can transcend them, and you're under the influence of sattva guna, which is, asuddha sattva, which is transcendental, and it transcends or rises above this material realm. So you find that different times of the day also affect your meditation. Sometimes it's harder to meditate than others. Has anybody found that?
Yes.
Yeah? So that's because the different times are affected as well. In the morning, really early in the morning is the best time. So if you can get up really early before everyone's rushing around, that is sattva time of goodness. So you can just feel the difference. Sometimes I go really early down to the park at Orley Park, down over the river, and it's just so peaceful at that time of the morning. And then if you leave it till like 8 or 9, it's much harder. Everyone's rushing off to work, and that's because it's moving into it's more mode of passion time now. So, the time of day, it's harder to meditate, in that time of the day. And then in the afternoon, at about 2 or 3, you get the mode of ignorance time of the day, when we all want to sleep. You want a nana nap at around 2 or 3 in the afternoon. That's why, because it's a mode of ignorance time. And then mode of passion kicks in again. Everyone's rushing home from work, cooking the dinner, whatever. And then there's a little bit of time in the evening at about 6 o'clock, around about that time when, or 5:30, it's probably a bit earlier now, with the dusk. Dusk, it's more the mode of goodness. So you really feel that it's a really much easier time to meditate, because your mind is less agitated than when it's in the mode of passion time. And then, of course, passion then until about midnight, and after that midnight till about 4 o'clock in the morning is mode of ignorance, when they're all sleeping in, people are taking drugs, drinking. That's the time of the day that they usually do that, yeah? So, and if you've ever tried doing your rounds at 2 in the morning, it's really difficult, your japa meditation, because you keep falling asleep and your mind's just really hard to wake up. It's really dead. So if you can get up in the morning, you'll find that it's easier to practice your meditation. And so I'd suggest practicing a little bit of meditation every day, and some breathing helps, some asanas. I've seen people come to our yoga classes, and before you know it, they've sort of become real mode of goodness. You can see huge changes in them just from practicing some meditation and some yoga. And but even if you don't practice anything, apply the kirtan or the mantra meditation in your life, and it will just automatically take you into the mode of goodness, so that you can pick up a Bhagavad-gita and have some understanding of spiritual wisdom. So, did anybody have any questions?
Yeah. What time in the morning do you get up?
Usually if you can get up just before daybreak is good, which is pretty late at the moment. Yeah, so around about 5:30, 6 is a good time to do some meditation. Yeah, it's just sort of getting light then. But I mean, we all do what we can do. It depends on your work situation, your family situation. I know over my whole life, it keeps changing. You know, it's probably not going to change too much. Oh, well, it probably will because I'll get old and I can't get out of bed eventually. But, you know, over the time it's changed. When I had little kids, I couldn't get up any earlier. So I just had to do my best. So, you know, it's not like there's really hard and fast rules. These are just some suggestions that are going to help you understand why when you try to practice in certain times of the day that it's going to be harder than others. But it's so powerful it doesn't matter what time of the day. You'll just find it harder to focus. You know, and you know why. And it's really good to have this understanding of life so you can go, oh yeah, that's the mode of passion. That's why that's happening. So yeah, it just gives you a bit of an insight into living and why things happen the way they do.